This 1898 facade here in Washington, D.C. is a national landmark site. And behind the facade is a rather amazing example of just how far you can push the envelope with a site like this. The school, the architect, the builder. This was one heck of a collaboration that started with you.
Yeah, absolutely. In this team, we found excellence. They were just the greatest collaborators.
And there was a competition which you won, up against some rather big hitters, some Starchitects.
Starchitects, yes. There were 20 firms expressed interest, 4 were shortlisted, and 3 of which were international firms. But yes, we won it, and we couldn't believe our luck. And at that point, we then started asking ourselves, well, watch what you wish for, because we would have to deliver.
And between you two, the architect and the builder, there's rather a non-traditional arrangement.
The design team and the subcontractors worked more closely together than I've ever seen. As a School of the Arts, it was going to have these big spaces, highly technical spaces, spaces that have equipment and design that only exists in those kinds of spaces. We really had to figure a lot of things out as a team for the first time, because it was all going to fit behind this historic 1898 building in this competition-winning design.
We had to insert a very ambitious and complex and expanded program into this building, adding 100,000 square feet.
I can't wait to see how you solved all this. So this was your solution. I want to call it an egg.
And we called it that from day one. This was our solution for really a dynamic problem, which was how do you get an 800-seat auditorium facility in this building? We knew that we were going to carve out the atrium, and we felt like we could put an iconic element like this right in the middle, and it could be the energy and the focus of the school. This is the bright, open interior space that is now the centering of the school. You are conscious of the egg wherever you are in the building because the circulation system runs around it. And so it's an orienting element. It sits on 5 columns that are supporting the full load. And of course, the skylight is loaded on top of the frame. And when it's fully loaded, like it is right now, it deflects about 1/8 of an inch down.
Deflects?
Yeah,
it kind of sags?
Sags, not much, believe it or not, because there's a lot of steel in this thing.
I think that sounds safe. So Derek,
Yes.
you were project lead on this.
I was, yes.
Another architect.
Yes.
And you worked a lot in this program.
Yeah, we did. This is ArchiCAD. We needed a tool that would allow us to not only design the building that we felt the client wanted and convey the design to them, but also to work out all the infrastructure bits, all the steel, plumbing, mechanical.
Because this egg was pushing everyone, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh, yes. We had a very finite space to put the egg in, and then the egg itself had a very finite shell associated with it. This allowed us to coordinate all that with all our subs and consultants.
And not to mention the client as well. I guess they need to know what they're saying yes to.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody gets a realistic understanding of what the final product is going to be.
I've been dancing my whole life, and really I want to pursue dance professionally. This is like the best place to do it.
Duke Ellington School of the Arts, founded in 1974. I always say that Mike Malone and Peggy Cooper Cafritz, they're the fabric of the artistic world here in Washington, D.C. If it wasn't for the work that they were doing early on for careers for workshops in the arts and street theater, we would have never had the Ellington School. I'm a very proud alumni, attended the Ellington School as a vocal major, and then I got a chance to come back here and be a part of this beautiful modernization.
And when you were here, can you imagine facilities like this?
We had a good time. The essence of Ellington was there, it's still there, but we didn't have anything like this. We love it. It's the next generation of artists having the resources that they need to be excellent.
Isn't the world full of wonderful things? Living in DC, you don't really have many opportunities as a young person. So being able to have a facility that really nurtures you, it moves you forward in a way. It helps you feel like you have a goal, at least within this domain of where you want to be.
It's very special, isn't it?
Very.
This theatre.
And it gives you something to look forward to.
Yeah. And it's a big egg.
From the outside and from the inside, yeah.
This is beyond my imagination. We've always had this $100 million program. We just didn't have a building to match. So Chris helped us get to that point where the building now matches the program. And you can't beat this.
So Mike, coming back to the space, it's not just that we were slotting in a new block in this perfect wedge. This is an 1898 building we'd carved out into a horseshoe shape.
Yeah.
And we landed a spaceship in Georgetown.
You hear that, Chris? He's calling your egg a spaceship.
Egg, spaceship, I'm good with either. And yeah, it was a crazy compressed schedule. And there were times when I came out here and I was genuinely worried we wouldn't make it.
With 8 months to go, there were days where we had snowmen down in the cafeteria because there was still no skylight, there was no egg, none of it was there. We were still working all over this building every day. It was a challenging experience, but it's a once in a lifetime type of project to be able to participate in.
So Ron, I know Peggy, before she passed, had a chance to see all this.
Yeah.
But what about Mike? What would have he said?
I think Mike would have said, well done. He probably would have said, yes, Lord. But he also would have said, keep going. Because he understood that there is completion to a work. You can say that we're done, but just like an artist, you're always looking at your work saying, I could do that better. We have to be willing to understand that this journey will have bumps in it, but no matter what, we keep going to inspire the next generation of young artists, to inspire teachers to want to be here, staff members to want to be here, but we got to keep going.